Welcome to Morning Offering with Ron, Dave, and Pat. Live from the Annunciation Radio studios, Morning Offering presents a Catholic way to start your day on the Ave Maria Radio Network.
Happy Monday. I don't know. Is that an oxymoron to say Happy Monday?
I think it's a marvelous Monday. We can't wait for the weekends to be over so that we can be back with all of you wonderful people. I wanted to circle back around to your quiz very, very quickly.
Yes.
You know, when you're playing football and you make a touchdown, I've seen, you throw the football into the stands. People enjoy that. Basketball, baseball, my gosh, you see it happening all the time. And I was doing a little game the other day, and I threw the ball into the stands. But I understand now, you're not supposed to do that when you're bowling. And, I know that now.
That's
now.
true.
Yeah.
And what was the proof
Sorry,
of that?
Betty.
Was that the
Sorry,
lawsuit?
Betty.
Is that
Yeah.
what convinced you?
No, just an apology to Betty. All good. I know that now. Don't throw a bowling ball into the stands after you get a strike. Yeah.
Okay.
Not
how about...
I've dropped one when I've gone back. Drop your arm back. Yeah.
And went back the wrong way, or what?
Yeah. You
Watch
as you
out
bring your arm
behind
back to ball, everybody pulls their legs up, because it's like.
Yeah, I wonder. There should be something you shout out for that at a bowling alley, right?
Yeah,
On golf, it's 4.
right. Yeah.
And bowling, it should be watch out. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, we got to come up with
That's
something.
a big ball.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to be saying something.
Oh.
Death on the way.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Talking about all things sports related, it's time for a little chat with Steve Clark, a little something we call Inside the Game. Good morning, Steve.
Hey, Steve.
Good morning, everybody. Pat, do not feel bad. This is a common occurrence. In fact, it's so common to throw the ball behind you. They include it in the Wii bowling game from Nintendo
Yes, they
some 20 years back.
Funny.
It's exactly how Pat described it. They all the little icons all jumped and they groaned and looked like they were getting out of the way. So,
Yes,
and the
I
only
love
thing
that.
that I could think of. The only thing I could think of you, Dave, is what kind of penalty do you get for throwing the ball into the stands and bowling? Is it minus 10? Is it one less ball thrown? I'm not exactly sure how we would mitigate that.
They
I think
said,
it's 2 to 10 years with probation.
well, they told me it's a 50-point penalty, except I had finished the 10th frame and I only had 31. So they're like, we don't know. Why don't you just leave? And so I said, I think that's probably the best solution.
Little dangerous on the sports field lately. I know preseason action, Lions safety. We had a team injury there that really, it was kind of interesting to see. I don't know if you saw this, Steve. You probably did because you watch all this stuff. But both teams gathering and praying, really.
Yeah, and ending the game early.
It is. The first part is typical. When somebody goes down to a serious injury, I mean, you're dealing with a lot of people in the NFL who are church people. And they are certainly praying for the health of one of their fallen guys. It's an interesting juxtaposition for people who watch the game. They're trying to hit each other as hard as they can and possibly knock them out of the game, but it crosses the line there. And most of the time when somebody has a neck injury like that, I mean, it's completely an accident. And so everybody from both teams generally gather together in a communal prayer. And then you just, kind of hope for the best. And I think that's kind of what we're going to see here potentially. The latest news that I've heard was that he had feelings in all of his extremities, and the player put out a statement on Saturday saying that he should be good. But those are the type of things that make you think about what you want to do in life, because becoming quadriplegic or somebody having a broken neck is not something you sign up for, obviously.
Yeah, we continue our prayers for Maurice Norris. Steve, let's talk Big Ten. You've got Big Ten football coming. We're less than 2 weeks away for kickoffs. And, the teams are set, the main players now, the positions seem to be filled, and we're ready to play a little football and see who's actually going to come out on top, even given what the prognosticators might have said ahead of time.
Talking season is over, is what they call it. You start doing preview. I'm part of it. I mean, you do previews of each of these teams. You assess the talent coming back. You assess the talent that the teams are getting through the transfer portal, who they lost, who they're bringing in, and kind of, just do some creative things in your head and know about each team's tradition and history. You certainly could see a team that is stacked but doesn't have a tradition in winning or playing well in November. And, no matter how good that team looks on paper, you just see that and you tend not to put them towards the top. So a lot of times in the preseason, your Ohio States and your Michigans are going to be gravitating towards the top of the Big Ten. In fact, I think this is the first time in a long time that I can remember where somebody other than Michigan or Ohio State was picked to win the Big Ten, and that's what they have done with Penn State, although it's a bit mixed. Ohio State nipping right at their heels.
Yeah, I always like when Penn State is picked high and picked to do very, very well because they don't. They never live up to expectation. So I'm sorry if you like Penn State, but that's kind of the history of it.
No, I don't actually. I have my team and you have your team, Dave. But, the thing about Penn State and why some people are hesitant on them is because of their head coach and their quarterback.
Yeah.
The head coach in the big games just doesn't win. His overall winning percentage against teams ranked in the top 10 is a very, very low percentage. And I've seen the way James Franklin's quarterbacks perform in big games, and they look like they have deer in headlights. And so it's hard for me as a prognosticator to think that Penn State is actually going to win the Big Ten. But boy, on paper, they certainly look fantastic.
And I want to take us back a little bit, Steve. I don't know if you had an opportunity to watch at all Shedeur Sanders. You're hearing both sides of some people claiming, oh, what a fabulous, incredible, monumentous performance, which it was not. I watched it. It was okay, though. And so the conversation continues, and he was given the opportunity.
Dave, we don't have enough time to get into this about how people react to certain things, but for the most part, there are more people that have to have a hot take or a very, very strong opinion. And it doesn't matter whether it's yay or nay or good or bad. They just need people to have strong opinions. So Shedeur Sanders had 2 touchdown passes in his limited preseason debut. Cleveland is filled with quarterbacks on their roster. They're probably keeping 2 with having an emergency in third, but it seems like everybody's got a big question mark in front of their name for the Browns. And Joe Flacco might win the starting job, but he's like practicing every other day because he's 41 years old and looks it.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Then you've got Kenny Pickett, who's got an injury. You've got Dylan Gabriel, who just has not looked good as the 3rd-round pick. And then it comes out publicly in the last week or so that Cleveland's owners, didn't want Shedeur Sanders at all and had to be talked to on day 3 of the draft to select him. So, the Haslam relented, fine, you can draft him in the 5th round, and they drafted in the 5th round. And of course, there's going to be people on his side that say that he's probably the best of the 5 and should start. So I think the Haslams wanted to see what Shedeur was going to look like in week 1 to get an indication to say whether this was a safe bet or not, take it out from there. But, when you're taking on Shedeur Sanders or the Sanders family into your campground, it's anything but uninteresting.
Yeah, you got that right. And, of course, Major League Baseball making history with Jen Pawal becoming umpiring her first major league game. So just another day at the office for her, though.
Yeah, she earned it. She's been in the minor leagues for a long time. This was not a publicity stunt. Right. She earned it. She got it. Congratulations to Jen Powell.
Thank you, Steve Clark, Inside the Game.